Well, Ryan Reynolds is taking shots at Justin Baldoni. Kyle Richards is throwing some shade at Lisa Vanderpump. And Lala Kent's assistant is breaking her silence on why she left Lala. She's giving us all the tea, but she's not giving us any more Lala. Let's get into it. Let's get it. You're listening to No Filter with Zack Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. What's up, everybody? Welcome on in, welcome on in, welcome on in. Happy Tuesday. Today, I am serving high body count hair. Day 2 of my 75 hard challenge. I don't know, is anyone else doing like a dry January or like a 75 hard? I'm doing 75 hard, which at first I thought we just take Viagra for 75 days. And then I realized, oh no, it means we have to like eat clean and work out twice a day and don't drink alcohol for the next 75 days. And I was like, oof, this is a lot more challenging than I expected. And here we are. Here we are. What's up, guys? Welcome on in. Well, ooh, Kristen Marie says you look hot, like teachy hot, like teacher hot. Like, ooh, I'm gonna school you. Let me get the whip and go whoosh, whoosh. So there we go. Susan says I fell into dry January between wanting to cut back and finances. Oh, so you were spending that much money on the drinks. Blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the alcohol. Jacqueline Jackson says, "Are you Filipino?" I'm not Filipino. I'm Hispanic. But no, I'm not. Oh, she always says the coconut tree. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all of which is and what came before you. All right, let's get unburdened by what has been with today's day. Everybody, what's up? What's up? What's up? Okay. Where should we begin? We have a lot. Lala Kent's assistant was like breaking her silence. Let's start with the Ryan Reynolds Baldoni stuff, shall we? Because I feel like that's like I feel like half of the people are like, okay, we're kind of over Blake Lively. We're fatigued by all of this like lawsuit drama. There isn't a ton of new info that's come out, but I guess some like headlines that have continued to persevere, right? But nonetheless, she persisted, just like this headline. Nonetheless, the headlines are persisting all about Blake Lively. So Ryan Reynolds, there's a scene in Deadpool, his new Deadpool and Wolverine movie. And in this scene, he seems to throw shade at Justin Baldoni. And I'd heard about this, and they're like, oh, he made a joke about like, being a feminist and blah, blah, being like a male feminist. And I was like, okay, that, does sound like maybe it's about Baldoni, maybe it's not about Baldoni. And then I finally watched the full clip. And the full clip, I'm not going to lie, definitely seems very aimed at Justin Baldoni. So his character, so obviously he's Deadpool, and then he plays this character, Nice Pool, which is supposed to be like the nice guy, right? He's like, ooh, I'm a good guy. And so the character has a man bun, which we know, given Mr. Baldoni's history, he has that fashion violation of wearing a man bun, which usually the woke male feminists tend to wear the man buns. I personally like him with like the it ends with us hair, where it's like not super long. It's like not in the man, like the man bun is so overdone. Never trust a man with a man bun. So Baldoni, now that I see your hairstyle, it does make me question you. But I like that we have finally, decided to let the curls down and you just kind of let loose, right? He's letting his hair down. I do like his new look. It definitely is a lot more bangable. But so Ryan Reynolds rocks the man bun, very similar to Justin Baldoni. We also see that he says that his goal is to one day host a podcast that monetizes the women's movement. Also, probably another nod at Justin Baldoni for his podcast Man Up, which seeks to end toxic masculinity. And so it's like, because remember the whole let's take down toxic masculinity came off the heels of the whole Me Too movement. And so, yeah. So we have the man bun, we have the reference to the podcast that monetizes off of the women's movement, and then he also makes a reference to Ladypool. And when he makes a reference to Ladypool, Ryan Reynolds says, "Oh, Ladypool, who just had a baby, and she just had a baby, and She lost all her baby weight. Like she's got a flat tummy. And so um people are like, oh, well, that's obviously in reference to Justin Baldoni, who allegedly fat shamed Blake Lively because, he asked how much she weighed before having to lift her, and it ends with us. And he's, obviously making a nod at this woman who lost all this baby weight right after having a baby. And obviously, Blake Lively didn't seem to bounce back just as quick. And then he says it's okay that he can say that because he's a feminist, also really leaning like at major digs towards Justin Baldoni. And then he says, oh, and then there's another piece right after that where he yells out, "Where's the goddamn intimacy coordinator?" And so people are like, all of these things look like they're adding up to something, a little more unsavory towards Justin Baldoni. Ooh, Mary Dudas says, "Damn, Zach, it's giving Dom top." I'm giving Dom top today? Well, I hate to break the news to you, but was given that even before. I know most people, I think, thought that I was a bottom, but I like to have a little. I like to Deadpool it up. I'm not nice pool. I'm Deadpool. Okay, you're not going to see me host the Man Up podcast where I'm trying to end toxic masculinity. I'm like, yes, give me all the toxic masculinity. Let me, you know. Um, sorry, my manager's texting me. Like, stay on topic, Zach. Let's not get crazy. We have brands to keep safe. Brian says that character in Deadpool versus Wolverine and Deadpool and Ladypool, played by Blake Lively, kill. Yeah, it definitely, yeah, because Ladypool was played by Blake Lively. So it definitely seems like there are serious nods to Justin Baldoni. And so at first I was like, it's probably a stretch, but now I actually agree that this definitely is definitely some shade. But like, so when you look at the timing of when Deadpool was filming and when It Ends With Us was filming, the timeline overlaps a little bit. So it seems like whatever was going on. Well, let's see if we can nail down the exact time. When was Deadpool and Wolverine filmed? Let's see. It filmed between October 2022 and January 2024. Wow, that's a really long time. So It Ends With Us was in production during this time because It Ends With Us finished in February or end of January. Yeah, I think it was like end of January that they wrapped filming. So, yeah, so it looks like it's very likely because then we have the alleged meeting that went down on January 4th. So it seems like it's possible that this scene was added in after the whole January 4th meeting where Ryan Reynolds berated Justin Baldoni and got mad at him for fat shaming his girlfriend. But it's like, if these were such serious allegations, right? And like this was such a big deal, then I don't understand how we're joking about it. Like, why are we making these jokes and these nods and these digs at Justin Baldoni? If not to heckle him and if not to tease him, then why are we, that's the part that's a little confusing for me. If it was so serious where we need a lawsuit and we need to, make sure that, everybody's up in arms about this, it's just very strange to me that they would even choose to take this dig at Baldoni, considering I don't think it. Well, I mean, I guess at the same time, they also didn't really expect things to blow up the way that they have, or for people to be, you know, combing through everything the way that they have either. Maybe they didn't even realize that this would get the heat that it's gotten, because I don't think they ever planned to file the lawsuit until Blake Lively's entire reputation took a hit. But again, the more that I look at it, the more I don't believe she's really out to seek justice. So all these people that are saying, I hate women because we don't want to believe Blake Lively, but it's like all of her allegations seem to keep falling flat based off of the contradictory evidence that has been presented, right? And the additional context into each of these different items that she was complaining about while on set. You look at the power dynamic, the Hollywood actress is somebody that's going to have a lot more power than, this director that didn't really have much credits beyond, being on Jane the Virgin. I think that's his biggest credit that people really knew him from, Justin Baldoni. So a lot of it just doesn't make sense. And then she filed it as a legal complaint in California, and people were like, "Oh, well, she did it as a legal complaint in California. That's because she's planning to sue. The lawsuit is going to come, but first she has to get permission to sue him in California." But then she immediately files the lawsuit in New York, and it's a federal case, which presumably was to make sure it wasn't filmed or like broadcast. It wouldn't be televised if it went to trial. And so it just makes you question, like, why file the initial complaint in California, making it seem like you're going to file the lawsuit, but then immediately after he files his lawsuit, then you file your lawsuit in New York. I don't think either of them are expecting either of their lawsuits to go to trial. I mean, maybe Baldoni, but I think if anything, they're hoping that this will cause a big stir. It'll get us all talking about it for a minute, and then in a few months, it'll quietly each of their lawsuits will quietly get dismissed. And at the end of it, they already got to sway the public based off of the details that they dragged out in their filings. Because even like her legal filings, she didn't have to. It didn't need to be 80 pages of her complaint. She could have just like filed her complaint, but I think she wanted all of those details to come out, which is why it was intentionally leaked to the New York Times and then easy to download as a PDF and, yada, yada, yada. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but like, I think it was all very strategic and it completely backfired. Because if anything, her reputation is way worse now than it was during the promotion of It Ends With Us. Like, she was still kind of just like the snobby diva that we saw her as before in all her other film premiered press tours, right? We didn't really think that differently of her. Like, oh, it's Blake Lively. We hear she's difficult to work with. But now she's looking a whole lot worse. And not only is she hurting her own reputation, but she's taking down Ryan Reynolds' reputation as well. I think she should quietly just like pray that this case gets dismissed, don't file any more lawsuits, kind of just like pray that this can all settle down. Cause at this point, I think that it's just going to continue to drain. And it's, now starting to spill off onto Ryan Reynolds. But we also had, there's a video that's going viral on TikTok right now that's from the Golden Globes because there's this director, Brady Corbet. I don't think it's Corbett, Corbett, Brady Corbett. He just won Best Director at the Golden Globe Awards. And he went up and he made this statement that people are thinking has to be in relation to Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni and all of their drama, right? Because he said, he's talking about how grateful he is that he won this award. And then he talks about how, if there's ever, a position where there's a tie, final cut tiebreak goes to the director. He's like, it shouldn't be controversial. Final cut tiebreak goes to the director. Now, why is this relevant to Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, even though he didn't directly reference them? Well, because Justin Baldoni was the director of It Ends With Us. Blake Lively, though she had a credit as a producer and though she was the lead actress, they were fighting to see whose edit, which personally, I don't think Blake Lively should have ever had her own edit. She didn't have enough power. Well, I mean, I guess she clearly did, but she shouldn't have had enough power to even, make her own edit and demand that Sony release her edit over Baldoni's edit. But anyway, the reason that this is so controversial is because he references final cut tiebreak. And so we know that Blake Lively was fighting for her cut to be released. Justin Baldoni wanted his director's cut to be released. And so they decided to test these two films in front of audiences. And they said, based off of whose film tests better with the audience, that's who Sony will end up releasing. And so then they tested it, and Baldoni's cut ended up ranking higher than Blake Lively's cut. And Baldoni claims that it was significantly higher, that it significantly outperformed Blake Lively's cut. But Blake Lively allegedly threatened to not promote the film and to not approve any of the marketing assets if she didn't get her cut released. And so ultimately, Sony decided that they were going to go with her cut. And so that's the cut that ended up being released. And then she had him blocked from certain press opportunities. And, she was like, he can't walk the carpet if I'm on the carpet, but make sure the rest of the cast is on the carpet with me so that they can see all of us taking photos together. Also seems very strategic. So whose cut is released? Blake Lively's cut is the one that got released, Kristen Marie. Her cut went. But that's why so people are connecting Brady's comments at the Golden Globes, and they're just like, well, if he, if he's saying that final cut tiebreak goes to the director, it shouldn't be controversial. Then that seems to be like, oh, he's commenting on the Blake and the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni situation. And so, but now there are these, I mean, they're unverified, but there are these rumors that Nikki Glazer, because she released some of the jokes that she didn't get to say, or that she didn't get to use while doing the Golden Globes. But apparently, there's this rumor going around that like Nikki Glazer wasn't even able to talk about or mention Blake and Ryan, and that if their names ever came up at all, that I think they were saying that WME was threatening to. Again, this is all unverified, but that WME was threatening to pull some of their it's from that same guy that I was talking about yesterday. Was his name Blake? Ryan? Let me see if I can find his tweet again because he seems to get he claims to have this info about his name is Eric B. And so he claims that the WME was threatening to withhold their talent if Blake Lively's name was mentioned or brought up at all, which I found interesting because obviously WME wants to make sure that nobody is talking negatively about Blake and Ryan. Yeah, WME pressured CBS and Dick Clark Productions, threatening to pull A-list stars and dollars if their names were even joked about. Hollywood silence bought and paid for. Yeah. We'll see. Blake Lively is the new Meghan Markle. Hold my beer. Yeah, I mean, Meghan Markle's definitely under heat, right? Everyone, I saw even Meghan McCain jumped into that where Meghan Markle announced that she has this new, what is it, like a cooking show at home with Meghan Markle or something like that. Um, and so it's basically her and like it's not even her house, it's a rented house that's also in Montecito, I believe. But so it's like this gorgeous home and she's inviting her friends like Mindy Kaling and all these other celebs in to come and cook with her and she's going to make you a dinner. And Meghan McCain said, like, this is so tone deaf considering the climate of the country. Like, Meghan Markle to do this overly polished cooking show that, like, who, first of all, not attainable. Like, most people aren't going to be like, at least Martha Stewart, when she was doing stuff, yes, she had this image of perfection, but at least it was a perfection that was seemingly attainable by people, right? Like, these are things you can do. You can buy these at the store and you can make it look pretty, right? And Martha Stewart had this very polished, um, image to her, but for the most part, it was seemingly attainable the way Martha Stewart would present things, right? Very different from like a Gwyneth Paltrow. Gwyneth Paltrow, not so attainable. Gwyneth Paltrow, the complete opposite of attainable. Gwyneth Paltrow is supposed to be overly aspirational, but so many people are like not digging like that goop style anymore. Like people want more relatable. They want something that feels more attainable. And even Martha Stewart has pivoted her brand to feel at least a little more relatable, right? Like she's never going to be relatable, but she's done it like pairing up with like Snoop Dogg and going to the roast of Justin Bieber, like all of those things. And if you watch her documentary on Netflix, you can see how after prison, her whole like image of perfection absolutely cracked. And so all Meghan McCain said was like, this is so out of touch and it's so just not what the American people want to see right now. Like nobody's interested in this type of content. Out of touch and tone deaf is basically what she calls it. And I agree with Meghan McCain. I know people don't like Meghan McCain. I know they think she's very controversial. But I don't think that Meghan said anything wrong. I think she's absolutely right. And people are like, well, she's hating on Meghan Markle, because they want to say it's racism because Meghan Markle, is black. And I'm like, well, it's a bit of a stretch. But that trust me, people don't dislike Meghan Markle because they think, has nothing to do with the color of her skin. She's got a beautiful color of her skin. People just like Meghan Markle because she's insufferable. That's the truth, right? They don't like her the way she, has constantly made herself a chronic victim in a lot of stuff. And like none of her other projects have really come forth. Remember, Spotify canceled her deal. They were struggling with Netflix because they weren't producing any content for them. I just think people are so over Meghan and Harry, except for like the Meghan Markle like apologists. They're like, oh my God, Meghan Markle can do no wrong. I'm like, well, actually, she can do a lot of wrong. So yeah. And like, here's the thing, because I know people are like, why would you side with Meghan McCain? And Meghan McCain says, no, she's, blah, blah. You don't have to like her, but that doesn't make her wrong, right? Like, Meghan McCain is wrong, or is not wrong in the sense that she's saying that this is out of touch and that this is not what the American people are really interested in right now. They're not. They're just not. Like, nobody wants to be like, yeah, let me see Meghan Markle pick, you know, vegetables out of a garden that isn't even hers in this giant estate in Montecito. Like, it's just, that aspirational influencer era, which was like what, 2016, 2017, 2018, that started to die off come 2020, really, when, the whole climate of the worlds in our country, people had to do a lot of like inner self-reflection and be like, oh shit, there are things that matter more to us than celebrity culture. And that's why I think celebrity culture is dying. So yeah, to be honest, I don't even pay attention to Meghan Markle and Harry. Don't they want their privacy? Yeah, they want their privacy, but then here she is doing another show on Netflix with celebrities. So please respect her privacy at this difficult time. Run and tell that, homeboy. Okay. What else? What else? What else? Oh, we have Lala and we have Kyle Richards. Is there anything else about Blake and Baldoni? I think that's everything about Blake and Baldoni for the most part. But yeah, Meghan Markle is about cyber safety, but doesn't call out her Sussex squad that stalks. Yeah, the Meghan Markle fans are pretty ruthless and toothless. Cooking in the kitchen down the road that isn't even hers, I find so strange. I mean, I guess because like she has a family and she doesn't want like people in her actual home, and I don't. TBHIDK. That's where I stand on that. TBHIDK. But you know what I do know about? I know about these glasses that I'm rocking. And these glasses are from Pair Eyewear. Let's get it. Get it. Get it. We've all heard new year, new you a million times, but why just stick to one version of yourself? Pair Eyewear has tons of shapes and styles to match any new vibe or hyperfixation. You can keep trying new things and switch up your look anytime you want, because the base frames like these that I'm wearing right now are just $60, including your prescription. Right now I have my blue light blockers on because I got all the lights and the stimulation, and I'm always on my phone, and so I want to make sure I got the blue light blockers on. But I mean, base frames starting at just $60. And even better, you get 15% off if you use code NOFILTER at paireyewear.com. That's PAIR, paireyewear.com. But you know what's even cooler? Yes, we have these base frames. Yes, they're budget friendly. Yes, they look super cute, right? Because I feel like I look so hot right now. But look at, if I am like, oh wait, let me go outside because I, want to have some outside time, I can also do this. Look at this. Whoa. Look at that. Boom. Look at that. Boom. Sunglasses. And not only that, but let's say I'm like, ooh, this little vibe isn't really going with my outfit today. You know what? Let me switch it up and let me get this one. All black. Look at that. All black everything. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So you don't even have to change out your pairs. You just keep the top frames and you can mix them up and you're like, I want to look smart today. Let's do some of this one. Ooh, yes. Sharp. Sharp. Check them out. They have so many different options. They have fun Disney collabs. They have sparkle collections. They have different colors that you can play around with. So whatever your vibe is, whatever you're feeling, definitely check out Pair Eyewear, a frame for every face. Okay. Find the perfect frame shape from at home with their virtual try on. You can go and put a photo of yourself, and you can actually, they'll show you what the glasses look like, which I think is really cool. And I did as well. And that was really fun. So there you go. Base frames start at $60 and top frames start at just $25. You get free shipping on all US orders, free returns and exchanges within 30 days, no questions asked. And even better, you get 15% off when you use code NOFILTER at paireyewear.com. And they even have a survey at the end of your purchase where they ask who recommended you, and you can write it in No Filter with Zack Peter. So there you go. No Filter with Zack Peter. There you go. Check them out right now. Use code NOFILTER for 15% off at paireyewear.com. Okay. Should we talk about Kyle? So Kyle Richards was doing another Amazon Live, and we love when Kyle Richards does her Amazon Lives because she always, spills some sort of tea, but she's talking about Dorit and LVP. Dorit! She's saying that her and Dorit are good. They're in a better place. They're totally cool. We have the new episode of Beverly Hills that's dropping this week, and we can see that she calls Dorit bitter because they're getting into some fights at Erica's music launch. I think it's for Domino's. Dum dee dum, like domino, domino. Here we go, like domino, dominoes. So she's dropping that new single. In this week's episode of Beverly Hills, ladies come out to support Erica Jane. Kyle Richards gets into some beef with Dorit Kemsley. We also see Sutton get into some beef with Dorit Kemsley. I'm just glad that we're all kind of back, right? We're back in the groove. We got some new shows again. The content was a little lackluster, but we were salivating over Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. And now at least we have some Housewives back in the mix to distract us with some good, clean fun. But so when it comes to Dorit, Kyle says that her and Dorit are in a good place, or they're at least in a better place, which I think is good. So it shows us that by the end of the season, they've worked out some things. By the reunion, they're in a much better place. I'm pretty sure the reunion will stir up some more drama once again because they're going to have to relive everything. But, you know, I think that Kyle and Dorit are a solid match, and I'm glad that they've been able to mend things. However, when it comes to Lisa Vanderpump, Kyle says she is not interested in making amends with Lisa Vanderpump at all. She said, nope, thank you. Next. She's like, I'm good. I really don't need any more LVP in my life. She says that because I guess Lisa Vanderpump a few weeks ago said that she was open to a reconciliation with Kyle, but Kyle would have to apologize to her first. And I was kind of like, really? Does she have to apologize to you though? Does she really? And Kyle's like, don't hold your breath because they ain't coming. She's like, nobody's asking to be friends with you again. So I wouldn't get too excited about an apology because it ain't coming. Oh, so doesn't seem like Kyle Richards and Lisa Vanderpump will be friends again anytime soon. This is a pretty solid season of Beverly Hills. It's starting off strong, right? Dorit's really carrying the season. I'm definitely digging Dorit this season. It seems like the audience is as well. I think they like people that just don't care. They're tired of. I think one thing that people had issue with when it came to Dorit is they constantly felt like she was fake, right? She had the fake accent and everything was like, oh, PK, it's so perfect. And PK and Jackie, come here, Jackie. And so now I feel like people like that Dorit's kind of breaking that mold, which again goes back to the conversation that we were having about Meghan Markle. And like people don't care about the aspirational stuff anymore. Like people don't want to follow the pretty girls on Instagram because they're pretty Instagram models. People are tired of that. They're like, why do I want to see this, really stick thin, gorgeous tanned blonde Instagram influencer that's like eating salads? And she's like, oh my God, guys, be sure to meditate this morning. And people are just like, fuck you. Like, I don't want to meditate. Like at one point, people followed them because they were interested in that aspirational lifestyle. And now I just don't think that they are. So again, I don't predict Meghan Markle's show is going to do all that hot. I don't think it's anything new. I don't think it's anything interesting. I don't think, we're going to see Prince Harry in it very much, if at all. So we'll see what happens. But at least for Kyle and Dorit, they're good. And Kyle and Lisa Vanderpump, they ain't good and they ain't going to be good. Homeboy, run and tell that. But apparently we're getting some finales. This I think January 15th is the Salt Lake City finale. So we have this week and the next week we have the finale. The reunion will air after that. So we're coming to the end. Summer House is out, is anybody watching Summer House? What's the Southern Charm? And then we also have Southern Hospitality. Are those all out at the same time? Southern Hospitality is coming, right? It hasn't officially returned, but currently we have Summer House and Southern Charm. Interesting, especially considering we know Paige and Craig break up by the end of it. So I'm curious if we see any of their relationships play out. I don't know. Just Josh says, tried to meditate once and ended up rearranging the furniture. Well, there you go. There you go. Oh, Southern Hospitality is how Summer House is coming. Okay, so Summer House hasn't come yet, and Southern Hospitality is out, as is. So we have Southern Charm and Southern Hospitality that are airing right now, and then Summer House is coming up. Or wait, Southern Charm and Southern Hospitality out now. Summer House not out. What's your take on their breakup? Whose breakup? Chris, which breakup? Kenzie says the Southern Charm people aren't interesting anymore. Yeah, I'm just not like, I'm not interested. You know, I'm not that interested. Okay. Well, since we are in this new year, new me era, you guys know I love me some Bioray, and Bioray, these yummy, delicious tinctures. Look at these right here. These are two of their products from their Raise line. Bioray products, they're plant-based medicine, and they're put in these liquid tinctures for ease of intake. So it's super easy to just like bloop and just like put it in your water, put it in your tea, put it in your coffee. You can put it in a mimosa. I used to like to put it in Prosecco, but now I'm, not drinking for the next 75 days. And so I'm taking some of their liver life to help kind of replenish, detox, reset. And if you're interested in a new year reset, rebalance for yourself, you can start their 45-day detox journey. You can kick it off. You'll save 15% for you and your child now and all year long if you shop their new year reset, rebalance 45-day detox journey. You're going to want to check it out right now. The natural detox program that does it all. The program was designed for the detox metals, chemicals, and unwanted organisms. It also helps to eliminate acidity and restore the alkaline reserve in the body while balancing female and male hormonal, adrenal, and endocrine function. It's a program that will work in harmony with your body, allowing your body to come into shape. And it's all natural for your metabolism. You can check it out right now. The benefits are it helps to detoxify, it helps to tone the body, it helps to restore the structure and function of your organs, revitalize your skin, and promote vitality. So definitely head on over to bioray.com. You can stock up now on your 45-day total body detox restorative program. Kick it off for the month of January and just reset. It comes with you get Liver Life, which I'm taking right now, Cytoflora, NDF Detox, NDF Plus. You have some cloves, some adrenal recharge, barley grass, Vital 10, K-Min, minerals, omega 3s, oxy powder, protozyme, activated charcoal, pH tape, red rooster, lady passion, blood type. You get a blood type kit, and you get the total detox guide. So you can get all of that now at bioray.com, or you can just shop Bioray. They have products for the whole family. They have products for infants, kids, teens, adults. They have their intimate line. So if you want to empower your health with some Bioray supplements, head on over. Like I said, they're tasty liquid tinctures that are super easy to take. Use code ZACK, Z-A-C-K, and you get free shipping on your orders. That's code ZACK, Z-A-C-K. I know some of you guys have been ordering Bioray and have been enjoying it, so please keep sharing your stories with me, and I will keep sharing. Thank you guys. Bioray.com, Bioray. Use code ZACK for free shipping. Z-A-C-K, ZACK for free shipping. Okay, let's talk Lala Kent's assistant. Her assistant has just come out. I guess her assistant has a new podcast, you guys. Wow, what a coinky dink. We leave our celebrity and our celebrity boss, and we suddenly have a new podcast where we're going to mention it all. Obviously, she can't get into too many details because I would assume there's an NDA there. But let's get into what Jessica is saying here. I'll play a clip from her new podcast.
First thing I'll say is no. I was not at all expecting to leave. That wasn't the plan. If I'm going to be honest, I thought I'd be at that last job forever. I was like ready to be a lifer. Maybe not in the role I was in, but I'll say within the company I was in. I invested everything I had professionally in that last job and a lot personally. I was investing in a future that I thought we were all on the same page about. So, what to make a long story short for now, or as short as I can make it. Basically, what happened is I said how I felt about the way some things were being handled. And the response I got to that was, in my opinion, not good. The response says I got. It wasn't. Honestly, I was taken aback. I was heartbroken at those responses. So I sort of found myself in a position where I felt like I had no other option than to choose to leave. And what I'll say, and this goes for any relationship, right? A professional relationship, a personal relationship, romantic, family. I think we sometimes we invest all of ourselves into a relationship and we give it our all. And at the end of the day, maybe we don't get in return what we feel we deserve.
So that's what she had to say. That's Jessica, Lala Kent's assistant, on her new podcast. Like I said, I don't imagine she can talk in details about things because I would imagine that there's an NDA that was signed. Chris Bacon says she's saying a whole lot of nothing. Yeah, she's saying a whole lot of nothing. Other than it sounds like there was something that she saw Lala do that she didn't agree with, that she tried to speak up about. But like, here's my thing. A personal assistant is not paid to have an opinion about Lala's life or Lala's business. And I'm not just saying that because I want to defend Lala, but like at the end of the day, you're a personal assistant, which first of all, kind of weird that you are saying that you thought that you were going to be a personal assistant to Lala forever, that you were going to work here forever. Like, what did you expect to do? Did you want more on the podcast? So I'm wondering if it was either something business related or possibly even something parenting related, right? Like maybe she was like, listen, I'm seeing how you're co-parenting with Randall, and I don't think it's appropriate for you to be, talking to Randall this way, or maybe you should work on things with Randall. But she says that there were things that she was bringing up as suggestions to Lala that didn't get received very well. Again, you're not really paid. I know it's a shitty thing to say, and I'm not saying that I like saying this, but when you're the personal assistant, your job is to assist the person that you're working for. It's not to have an opinion about their life. It's not to have an opinion about their business. It's not to have an opinion about how they run their house. Sure, you can maybe suggest things, be like, oh, I was doing this, and like maybe this might, help with efficiency, right? Like, maybe if we Uber instead of drive when I'm taking Ocean to or from school or whatever, which that's a totally made up example, but I'm saying like something like small and, talking about the efficiency and how it would help Lala in that way a little different. But like, I don't know. Joe says maybe the PA wants to be more than a PA in the Lala enterprise. That's kind of what I thought originally. That like maybe she wanted to grow within the Lala business, to give them Lala business. Like maybe she wanted more on the podcast, or like maybe she was, but again, like unless that's explicitly disclosed up front for her to be like, I thought that I was going to work there forever for the rest of my life. Bullshit. If you're literally out here launching your own podcast, I don't believe that you were planning on working for Lala forever, right? Like you also, nobody goes to be an assistant and is suddenly like, this is my end all be all in Hollywood. I moved to Hollywood so that I can have an end all be all for a reality TV star as their assistant, you know? Um, Sydney Sweeney says, totally agree, not there for their opinions, but to have her in the delivery room gives implication that they were more than just coworkers. I don't know. That's a good point. But again, this is where it gets tricky. And this is maybe where it's a little more on the fault of Lala. I think maybe those professional lines were blurred. And so Jessica maybe felt like she was more of a friend and could maybe, I don't know, dream big. She could be your senior assistant, or executive assistant. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's kind of strange. And again, when that's your boss, like that's the hard part. And that's why it's hard when you become friends with your boss or you blur those lines, because then it does kind of bring everything into question. Jess says Lala didn't have her back. Yeah. But also have her back in what? And when does like should your boss like I don't know. Didn't keep her proper boundaries. Yeah. And listen, that's not a fault on Jess. That's a fault on Lala. You know? I think Jess and Lala maybe got a little too close and it blurred the professional lines of what you should do in that setting, you know? Having her in the delivery room definitely speaks to their relationship. Um Joe says I wouldn't be anyone's assistant. They can't afford me. But, like, that's the thing, like, these assistant jobs are not meant to be lifelong jobs. I mean, well, I think as Lala said, whoever she brings in as her assistant, she wants to be there forever, but I think the counter to that, and I think that was on the Not Skinny Not Fat podcast with Amanda Hirsch, Amanda's counter was like, "But, like, that's not a realistic expectation that when you bring somebody on to be your assistant, that they're gonna stay your assistant forever and ever." Like, it's just not realistic. Um, so I don't know. Those jobs are just to get a foot in. Yeah, that's the thing. Most people move to Hollywood and they become assistants. That way they can meet people and they can meet other producers and they can hopefully have a good enough relationship with their boss to where they're going to make good referrals to keep them going and make introductions. And, but then the hard part is a lot of people in Hollywood don't want you to grow. They don't want you to flourish. They want you to stay their assistant. They want you to stay at the level that you're at, but it's not realistic to think that like there are going to be many of those people that have zero interest in pursuing a career professionally in this industry. And that's why I think it's hello. You see Jess, who now has a podcast that nobody's going to listen to next month because they're going to be over it. But like you see her and she's like, um, what does she say? She's like, oh, she's starting a podcast and she's like trying to share her truth. But I'm just like, I don't care about your truth necessarily. But so it looks like her podcast is called The Date My Podcast. Date My Podcast. That's a weird name. Let's look into this podcast more. The Date My Podcast. First episode is out now. Date My Ex. The Date My Podcast is an audio and video podcast broken up into 10 episode seasons consisting of Jess Walter helping one individual per season, aka the dater, potentially find love through a series of on-air dates. Jess and the dater, along with a few special guests, yes, actual experts, will explore and challenge the dater's current relationship habits while deep diving into the world of singles, modern day dating, and embracing those moments of fun, occasionally awkward, sometimes chaotic, but always meaningful human connection. Okay, well, at least it's a semi-original idea. Like she's not like, let me just recap Bravo. So I'm cool with that. Um, I mean, it's a little presumptuous to be like, there are going to be 10 episode seasons. 'Cause like what we're already outlining that. I don't know. It's so funny. Ever since I said that I think um, Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni had some sort of sexual tension or sexual energy, um, I've been getting quoted. People are like, adding to the fuel is comedian Zack Peter. Comedian Zack Peter adds to the speculation. Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni spark rumors amid legal battle over harassment claims. Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni face legal drama and growing affair speculation following It Ends With Us disputes. Baldoni has denied the claims, countering with his own lawsuit and releasing text messages he suggests Lively invited him into her trailer while breastfeeding. According to People magazine, Baldoni's legal team argues the suit is a strategy by Lively and her husband to salvage her public image. The legal battle has ignited speculation among fans, and with some questioning whether personal dynamics during filming played a role. Social media is rife with commentary, including one fan's tweets asking, "Was all of the aftermath of was this all an aftermath of an affair gone wrong?" Others noted the intense chemistry between Lively and Baldoni on screen, fueling rumors of a deeper connection. Adding to the speculation, comedian Zack Peter suggested Lively may have developed feelings for Baldoni during filming. He also referenced past allegations of infidelity involving both Lively and Reynolds. However, Peter noted that much of this remains conjecture and that the full story may still be unfolding. The legal dispute has cast doubt on the future of the sequel to It Ends With Us. Fans hoped for a continuation of It Starts With Us, but insiders say the escalating conflict could halt those plans. I don't think there's going to be an It Starts With Us. I think It Ends With Us is done. I think it's done. Comedian Zack Peter, he and Jolene should go on the road together. We've been on the road together. She opened 3 of the 4 shows that I've done at the Bourbon Room. I love having Jolene on the shows. Jolene's hilarious. People always love Jolene. Zack the comedian. Well, I mean, here's the thing, guys. My background is in stand-up comedy. While I was, before I ever got into podcast, that's how I started podcasting. Is I used to do stand-up. I did stand-up for 2 years, and then that transitioned into the podcast, and that's, where I kind of just stayed was in podcasting. I haven't done stand-up in a long time. I've thought about it. I would love to get back on stage again, but I don't know. It's so far in the past at this point that I don't know. But thank you to what was that? The Express Tribune. Thank you for including comedian Zack Peter in your coverage. That was the Express Tribune, today's paper. Well, there you go. Comedian Zack Peter has some hot takes. Google me, bitch. So yeah, I think yesterday there was another article too. What is it? Sports SK Pop Sports Kita. I don't know what that is. Oh, and that one opens with me. that's the headline. That's hilarious. Comedian Zack Peter speculates whether Blake Lively caught feelings for Justin Baldoni while filming It Ends With Us. Interesting. Comedian Zack Peter took to the internet with speculation involving the growing controversy surrounding It Ends With Us stars Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. In December 2024, Blake Lively filed a complaint against Baldoni, accusing him of harassment and spreading a smear campaign to ruin her reputation. However, Peter claimed that there may be another angle to the controversy in a new video posted on X on January 5th. The comedian alleged that Blake Lively might have caught feelings for Baldoni during the shooting, which supposedly prompted her husband, Ryan Reynolds, to insert himself into production and alter some scenes in the script. Peter also referenced the controversy surrounding Ryan Reynolds' divorce from Scarlett Johansson, which many believed happened because Reynolds cheated on the Marvel actress with Lively. Oh, and I'm quoted. Did Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni catch feelings for each other? Hear me out. This whole story is just so deep and so messy. There has to be a piece of it that we're not getting, because there are all these rumors about Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds suggesting secretly having an affair while he was married to Scarlett Johansson and she was dating Penn Badgley. Could this be why Ryan Reynolds was involved and had to berate Justin Baldoni in front of the executives? Peter said in the video. Zack Peter supported his hypothesis by claiming Blake Lively and Baldoni had intense chemistry on screen, and It Ends With Us. He also claimed this could be a smoking gun for Baldoni's legal team. They do have really intense chemistry. Maybe Ryan Reynolds saw something. Maybe he was picking up on something. Maybe that's why he wanted to be so involved to the point where he was rewriting some of the intimate scenes. Wow. Oh, and they included my tweet and the video. Zack Peter's video has received over 220 views at the time of this article. Wow, it did? I think it's received a lot more than that. Maybe on X it received that many. Let's see. Look at me just making headlines. Oh, on X, the video has received 683,000 683,000 views. And then on the Instagram, it received over 500,000 views. And then on the Tickety Talk, it received 1.2 million views. Wow. People are very invested in this story. Zack Peter has officially entered the chat. I feel like this is a Susan Smith moment, by which I mean Zack called this theory from the beginning, as my mom did years ago about Smith. She knew just like Zack knew. Interesting. Loving this. Zack, careful. You need to add allegedly at the end of your sentences. Ryan is dangerous. Listen, I know how to say things. You can say seems like, or appears to be, allegedly, sounds like, looks like. This could be a theory. I made it clear that it was all conjecture. So yeah. I wish my husband looked at me the way Zack lights up at mentions of his name in the press. Listen, we're all a little egotistical. We're all a little narcissistic. That's why I tell when people are like, listen, we all have new year, new you. Yes. We're all vain. Okay. I grew up in LA. I'm so vain, Just like the person in the live chat when they said Zach's wearing a blouse. And I was like, I'm not wearing a blouse. It's a shirt. It just, it's a shirt. It's not a blouse. It's a button-down shirt. See, that hurt my ego. Do you mind being called a comedian instead of a podcaster? I don't really care. I remember when the Daily Mail ran that story about me and Tamara, and they're like influencer, Zach Peter. I didn't love when they called me an influencer because I feel like influencer is like a cheap. Like I would have preferred to have been called podcaster there, but I remember even then my manager's like, "Do you want me to email them and have them updated?" And I was like, "I don't care. It is what it is, you know." I'm like Meghan Markle. I'm like, "Don't talk about me. Don't talk about me. Please talk about me. Don't talk about me. Oh my God, please respect my privacy. Please cover me in more headlines." You know? If Zach prefers to be called comedian, Brian as I would refer. Oh, Joe says he's a spiritual guide. But Joe, are you too spirited? That's the real question. Can we talk about Paige's comment on Up and Adam? Is she really going to sue him? No, Paige isn't going to sue him. I think Paige was just being jokey. So, yeah. I don't think that Paige is actually going to take legal action. I don't think she can take legal action. Like, it was a rumor, and I don't think it's worth, suing Adam over. I talked to him after that. I was like, "Why are you like? Don't post these low budget rumors. Like, you're gonna get sued." And he was like, "I'm not worried about it." He's like, "She's not being serious. She was just kidding." So I was like, "All right, yeah, you're probably right." So he doesn't seem worried about it. I don't think she's actually gonna do it. Zach, I love your shirt. The color is so flattering. It's like the black shirt your mom. Is it like the black shirt your mom got you? I'm not a creep. I asked when you wore the black shirt last time. Well, there's a new black shirt that she got me, but yes, it's actually a navy blue shirt. Oh, well, no, yeah, it was a navy blue shirt that you were referring to. It is similar to that in the sense that you can kind of like you can see through it a little bit with the holes in the stitching. So, yeah. Zach doesn't care what you call him, just spell his name correctly. Yeah, that's true. So the Traitors are back, you guys. We have the Traitors. New season is dropping this week on Peacock, and they have taglines. Wow, who would have thought we were going to need Traitors taglines? But they only have taglines for the 4 people that are actually housewives on the cast. So you're not going to see like a Tom Sandoval tagline, but some of them were pretty good. I actually was like, "Oh, wow. Well, Janelle." So let's play the taglines and then I'll share my thoughts of these taglines because some of them I just didn't think were all that necessary. Here we go.
You may know me as Lady of the Manor, but now I'm going to be Queen of the Castle. Backstabbing and treachery? I thought this was going to be an escape from my real life.
You can banish me or murder me, but you'll never forget me.
Diamonds aren't dog best friends. Daggers are.
So there are your taglines. Dorinda said, "You may know me as Lady of the Manor, but now I'm going to be Queen of the Castle." And then Dolores said, "Backstabbing and treachery. I thought this was going to be an escape from my real life." And then Robin says, "You can banish me or murder me, but you'll never forget me." And I'm like, "Girl, we already forgot you. We forgot you like a year ago. We forgot you like Juan Dixon did when he was with the lady at the hotel." So that was an interesting one. And then we have Chanel Ayan, and she says, "Diamonds aren't a girl's best friend. Daggers are." And so they're not like real taglines, but it's like a promo tagline, like to promote the show. So I thought it was cute. I'm excited for the new season of Traitors. I was a loyalist. Season 1, I was all in. Season 2, when everyone finally jumped on board, I was even more all in. And so now, here we are, season 3. I'm hoping it's not a flop. I'm hoping that we didn't reach our peak. I'm hoping that Dorinda Medley is on the Hot Mic podcast this week. I'll definitely listen to it and maybe we'll recap it tomorrow. Sydney says, "Forgot all about Robin." Right. I was like, who gave her that tagline? Like, who fell out of a coconut tree and thought that was a good idea? They were like, yeah, let's remind everybody how forgettable Robin Dixon is. it's just. Stacey said, I think that's cute. I'm super excited. Even my 8-year-old daughter loves watching the Traitors. It's a good show and it's family friendly. Oh yeah, Kate shows up again and Parvati, right? They make a cameo in the new season. So yeah. Robin and Giselle commented on Karen's DUI on their podcast. I forgot all about Robin. Yeah, I don't think many people are like, Robin. I know I saw Queens of Bravo and they tweeted something like, oh my God, everybody's requesting to have Robin back on Potomac. And I was like, are they? Is that's a thing that people are asking for? No, nobody's asking for that. Yeah. Queens of Bravo tweeted, people demanding Robin return to Real Housewives of Potomac. Robin promo dropping for her return to television on the Traitors. It's a good day. Who's demanding people bring Robin back to Potomac? I think people are just like, oh, Robin would have something interesting to say about Karen's DUI, but like nobody's like, yeah, sign the change.org petition now so that we can have Robin back on Potomac. Robin can go on that Lala's Assistance podcast. Yeah, that would be interesting. Josh said nobody's demanding. Lori said 0 people are asking for her back. Krista says, who lied to her? Yeah. Joe says, I'm rooting for Bob the drag queen on the Traitors, and there's plenty of hotties on there too. Yeah, Wells Adams, Dylan Efron, Sam Asghari. Yeah, I'm here for all of it. Right? Tom Sandoval. I'm like, yes, Tom, take off that white nail polish and let's go. Show me what those fingers can do. Yeah, Candace back on Potomac would be great. Candace and Monique. I feel like when Candace left and when Monique left, that's really where Potomac started to sink. So, boom. All right. I think that's all I have for you. Everyone's like, ew, no, not Tom Sandoval. I just said that to be controversial. Nobody knows what it means, but it's provocative. All right. That's all I got for you guys. Definitely be sure to check out Pear Eyewear. Use code NOFILTER at paireyewear.com. If you want to get some new frames for the new year, you can get sunglasses, blue light blocking glasses, prescription glasses, reading glasses, all of it. Also, be sure to check out Bioray, Bioray.com. They have products, supplements for the whole family. I love Bioray. I've been taking them for many, many years. So go to Bioray.com to stock up. You can also do their 45-day detox. Go to Bioray.com right now. Use code Zack for free shipping. And thank you guys for all the love that you've been showing me on Apple Podcasts. Let me get some shout outs really quickly. I want to shout you guys out because I really do appreciate all the love that you've been sending my way. We've been staying strong in that top 20 on the Apple charts and the top 50 on the Spotify charts. We're just killing it all around. Jess B says, facts, not just vibes. Excellent podcast that provides opinions with facts and reasoning rather than just vibes. I also enjoy his ability to break down more complex concepts into easy to understand and digestible audio. And then we have Grace for Atlanta who says, misogynistic. He hates women and actively roots against them. Katie and Ariana, for example. There you go. If you want a podcast that hates women, No Filter with Zack Peters, the podcast for you. Be sure to leave me a nice Apple Podcast review if you're enjoying the show. You can also listen and comment on Spotify, and you can also watch and comment on YouTube. Well, you can also watch on Spotify. We have full video on Spotify. But there you go. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the like button on your way out, guys, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Ciao for now. Love you, mean it. Bye.